I think that the reality is that we all need to be prepared because, many Christians will put their faith in that pre-trib belief and then they don't prepare in case they have to go through that tribulation. And what does Revelations tell us about that tribulation time? It tells us that the Antichrist will be hunting, that he will hunt down believers, that he will seek to utterly destroy us, that it will be a time like no other. And it says that even in those days, that even the elect, that's those who are chosen and set apart by the Lord, that even the elect would fall away if those days were not cut short. I believe that we need to really be preparing ourselves because we know that those times are a time of huge deception. We see all these false Christs coming forward. We see false gospels coming forward. So, it's vitally important that we be in the Word, that we know the Word, that we understand it, and that we truly be living the way that God intended us to for these last days. In order to dedicate that temple, they need to have, I believe it's just the ashes from one red heifer, which is basically a red-haired calf. So for centuries after they stopped the sacrifices, after Jesus's time, Israel has not been sacrificing since that time for almost 2,000 years. In that time, the red heifer stopped being born. But now, within this past year, there have been 3 born. They have to have no blemish, which means they can't have any miscolored hairs. They have to be completely red. 2 of them are completely red. They have to be sacrificed before they reach a year old in age, and their ashes will be ground up and they'll be spread around the temple in order to consecrate and cleanse that temple. That's already in place. Right alongside of that, as all of that's happening, we have to remember that the Lord has said that in his word that in those times that the Antichrist is going to be setting up his kingdom, which he will hand over to the beast. That kingdom is a one world government, so one world economy, one world religion. We see everything already being put in place for that. We see, the Muslims, the high priests out of Judaism, as well as the priests out of the Catholic Church. They have created what is called one house. The first one has already been set up in Belgium. The others, I believe that they're trying to set one up now in California, one in Florida. We're going to see that coming together. I believe that the Muslims, the Catholics, as well as the high priests out of the Temple of Israel will join together in an alliance, and together will invite the Antichrist to stand in that Temple Mount. I would put the time frame of that happening within the next 3 years before the Great Tribulation begins at the end of that period. I believe as soon as the Antichrist declares himself God, that's when the last 3 years of the tribulation will begin. So that's where I see things right now.